Hey, what's going on everyone? Shiva Sapkota here with another Tesla video. Today we're reviewing the first OLED Instrument Cluster Display for Tesla Model 3 and Model Y. This comes from a company called Vicky's. This is a fairly new company to us, but they're doing something amazing where they have a software that is a very in-house built software, very robust software, and they have an entire ecosystem of products that work off of that software. It's not a cheap Chinese generic software you download. This is an in-house built software, and the person behind this company used to be a leading software engineer in a major tech company, so they know what they're doing, and I was able to witness that firsthand. So Vicky sent this free of charge to review in our channel. If you want to check this out, you can do it directly from the Tesla. So if we were to go over here, these are their new products. So Model 3 Highland or Juniper, and they got a lot of other products if you wanted to check them out as well. And so it shows 129. I don't know how this sale is gonna last, but as I'm making this video, it shows 129. But I'm gonna show you how you can knock this down quite a bit. So if we were to go over here, add this to cart, and on the checkout screen, let's go to checkout here. You go over here, they are gonna put a welcome code here that gives you $10. But if you put SHIVATESLA, so Shiva Tesla, and hit apply, you're gonna get $20 off. So that knocks the price down quite a bit to $109. I'll let you be the judge if this is worth it for you or not, but that is a code you can put. This is an affiliate code. We earn very small commission and no additional cost to you, which greatly helps us bring videos like this in the future. Let's continue. So let's do a quick unboxing and then we're going to do the installation. Just from the packaging itself, it gives me that enhanced sexy product type of a vibe, where it's a high quality packaging here, and that says a lot on Tesla accessories. Most of the time, better the packaging it is, the more better, the robust the product has been. So let's see how this holds up. But this is really nice. They follow the same type of ecosystem like Enhance does, where there is the QR code where you install an app and then you can control everything through the app. And they've got multiple other products that we're going to be showing you that does the same thing. With the same app, it works with everything. So let's unbox this and show you the wiring. So opening the package here, they give you the little marketing card. They give you a scannable QR code where you can scan through here as well. They give you a little privacy cover. Looks like this is a gift that came with the packaging here. So webcam cover, maybe you can use that for Tesla as well. But here's the main display here. This is the OLED display they're talking about. And if you look at it here, there is no wiring at all because this is all wireless. So this is gonna be powered using the wireless charger and then the module. And then this right here is the OBD port we're gonna be using underneath the steering wheel panel there. So that's how it is going to get power. Now let's talk about the wiring at a high level. So it all starts with you plugging into the Tesla's OBD port on the door panel on the A-pillar. I'm going to show you how to do that. This is a super simple bypass. We have done it hundreds of times. So this just connects to the OBD and then this connects to the power. Then one of the output of this goes and plugs into this little Bluetooth module. This is the brain of this whole operation. So you're just going to be using this to connect. So then it will just plug in here. That's it. You don't route any wire from the side door panel or anything. This is it because it communicates wirelessly. So that connection will stay on the door panel. Now when we go to the steering wheel panel, this is where we're gonna connect to the bottom OBD port of the steering wheel, and then this will give us the power. So all this needs is a power at that point. So if you wanna put some kind of a wireless charger, this thing, you can do that. If it's a flat wireless charger and if you just power it using the wireless charger, this actually works because all it needs is the wireless charger that goes here. So that's why they send you this. So what this does is you could put this on the steering wheel panel, and then on the bottom of that panel, we are gonna be putting this wireless charging pad and then running this cable all the way to the OBD port in the bottom. So you just essentially plug this OBD port, route the wire, but all you are doing is powering this unit. That's how they figured out how to power the unit. And doing that, you're gonna need some a pry tool to pry open some panels. You're gonna need some alcohol wipes to paste this 3M adhesive on the steering wheel panel, and then you're gonna need a fishing wire, which they send here as well. So very straightforward, wirelessly connects to the A-pillar. This is essentially just needs a wireless charger to work, but because we need to power that, they made it kind of a discrete connection rather than plugging into the USB ports. They made it a discrete connection that hides, and that's it. So let's start by connecting this Bluetooth module to that door panel there. This is the exact same step for Highland or Juniper. And first thing we need to do is remove that weather stripping. So you go over here and just pull this weather stripping out. Super simple. On the corner there is gonna be a little bit of a tricky thing, but it's not bad. So you just lift it, just be careful. And we need to free that weather stripping so we can remove that door panel there. Next, you're gonna take your pry tool and simply pry this out, and depending on how many accessories you have installed in the past, they could be hard or loose, but this just pops right out. So you put that aside. Then we gotta go in here and pull this plastic fastener. You take the pry tool there and then simply pull that this way, and it just comes right out. Put that in a safe area. Now this whole thing can be removed. So as I said, this could just be removed now. You just pull this out and it comes right out. You can set this aside. Now we're gonna be working on some wiring. Now we are after this OBD port here, as well as the power. This is the power Y connector there, and yours is gonna look slightly different because I have a lot of accessories already plugged in, and this is how you can daisy chain multiple accessories. So if you already have something else plugged in, no worries, because then you can just use the same daisy chain method to do male to female to male to female. This one port is always going to be open. Nothing is gonna be plugged in here. Juniper, Highland, older Teslas, the same. Nothing is gonna be plugged in here, because what happened is you get the new port, the new plug here, and what you do is you take the male end of that plug and simply plug it into the female end of it, and then now you still have one open, right? So even after this accessory, you can still plug in another accessory and be able to use that. So that's how easy this is to just have that Y connector, and you can just keep going for other accessory. Same thing with this power adapter. Right now it is plugged in. Yours is gonna be just there. It's just gonna be stationed there because you likely don't have very many accessory plugged in. But if you have other accessories, then it will be the same process. And what you do for this is you pinch on this middle tab right here, and while holding that down, you pull the connector out. You would do that right here if you don't have any accessories connected. But this is the 12 volt. And what you do is you take the male end of the new harness and simply plug it into the female end of the Tesla or another accessory with the Y connector with daisy chain, and do the same thing with the female end to the male end. Now we just have this output from the new harness that we need to plug in. Now this is the output here. What we do is we take this Bluetooth module and simply plug it in, and this should be powered. This should be sending you data, and now we need to just close this up, like everything up. As I said, I have a mess here because I have so many accessories connected, but if you don't have anything, then you're just gonna be super simple looking thing. So then you're just going to hide this all and be able to put the door panel back on. Now before we put everything back together, let's do a quick test of this to make sure it works, because there's all wireless, that didn't have any light or anything, the Bluetooth module. So let me show you how you can do a quick test. And you don't have to wire anything, you just take this. As I said, it just needs power. So you can kind of find that wireless charger in here, and look at that, like it's flashing. So now this is just gonna turn on. So it is doing a timer there, and look, it is on. So it is doing, it is showing you that it is parked, the doors are open. And look, I just toggle the turn signal and it is working. Let's do the other one. So other side, it is working. Like if I was to press on the brakes, if you look at it there, that it is working. So this is all good to go. Now we have tested it. Let's wire this so that it has power. So now we have tested this. We just have to bring this up here and close this gap there. Just cover everything up and just find where the hole is. As you look at it here, you have to be a little bit careful going in. Just do some management here to make sure that this is flushed in. And once you find that spot, you can just press this in. Then don't forget to put that plastic fastener there. Then this, the top one, you just have to slide this into this little bit of a headliner piece there. So kind of goes in nice and easy. And once it kind of grabs into it in the back, that's when you are able to simply push this into its place. So once everything is in, you want to start putting this weather stripping from the top location here, and then simply push this to the bottom, and you should be good to go. It should be all cleaned up. Now we're ready to install this unit, and as I said, this is only for power, and you would put it somewhere like right here, wherever the center location is. And to do that, you want to make sure that the steering wheel is all the way fully out. So you go to steering wheel setting and basically pull this out as much as you can, because that allows you to have a lot more access behind here to be able to route that cable and go down. So removing this is a little bit of a tedious process. You're gonna have to separate this two panel. As you look at it here, you can kind of prop this out and then put the pry tool, and as you see, it kind of starts propping it out. So that's what the trick is. If you try to pull it, this is gonna break. So look at it, it just props out. And you wanna do the same thing on the other side. It's the exact same deal on this side as well. So as I said, this side is pretty much out. And so for the other side, the same deal. You wanna kind of prop this and find that joint on the back. And look at that, like it just starts propping out. You wanna put some leverage and there you go. So this becomes loose and it just comes off. And what you have here, as you see, this is just the clips. Like Tesla hasn't changed this design forever. It is the exact same thing on the older Teslas versus newer Tesla. The older Tesla, this is a little bit of a bigger cap, but it just goes in and it is just inserted there on both sides. And what you're doing is you're simply lifting this up. So there's no screws or anything, this just comes off. So now is the fun part here. We gotta route this fishing cable from the top and then take it out from the bottom. And if you look at it closely here in the bottom, so that's where it needs to come out from these brake paddles. It is gonna be a little tedious, so we're gonna see how we're gonna do this and if there's any tips here. But basically this bottom part, at least on a Highland, is a magnetic carpet. So you can just prop this down and you don't have to remove this entirely. It just props it down. That way you have access to it here. So even if you need to reach down there to see where the cable is, you could do that. But basically our job is now to route the cable from the top to the bottom. So from the top here, you can either go from this side or that side. Tesla already has a cable on this side. So I'm gonna first attempt to go from this side and see if I can make this work. And you just have to feel the opening there. So you just push this in and the wire should go in through here. So yep, I am in. I'm going to simply push this down as much as I can. And so this is still going. So this is likely going to be where the wire is. And what you can do at that point is go underneath here and see if we can find that. So it should have come down here and we should be able to, yep. So there you go. So that is the cable that we have routed from the top. Is already here. Now we're able to use a electrical tape to route the power cable to the bottom. So we're gonna grab this cable here and you see the USB-C, that's the one that we need to route to the bottom. So we're then going to grab this. This is the fishing wire and we have some electrical tape in our hand here. And basically what we're gonna do is put that there and then tie in this so that we can just simply push this down and hope that we're able to make this through. You may have to use a little bit more tape than me here, but the idea is you just do this so that this fishing wire can pull this tape all the way down. So we're able to route this to the bottom and let's see how this goes. So we're gonna pass this through here and then pull it from the bottom. So I have routed this from the very bottom here, and when I try to pull it from here, this gets stuck because I think the cable the head is a little too big. So I think I'm gonna retract this and then try to go from the top end of this here. There are multiple ways to do this. As I say, this could be a trial and error. So now I'm gonna pass the cable from the top end here and see if that is a little bit better and a little bit easier for me to grab that from the bottom there. So now routing from the top, we'll see how that goes. So I tried both the bottom and the top on this side. That didn't work. So I went with actually this side here where the Tesla already has a wiring, and I figure maybe the hole is gonna be bigger, the opening is gonna be bigger because Tesla is routing the wiring. And I think that is true because I'm able to pass a lot more than I was able to through this side. So instead of going this way, I would recommend going this way instead, where the Tesla's wire is already going through there. So, moment of truth. Let's see if we can pull this down, and yep, we got the wire pulled down here. So we are in business. So go with that where Tesla has the wiring harness there. So how this works is pretty a genius solution, honestly, because what this is a wireless charger, and then you just put this here for this to work. But if you were trying to do that, the cable would be exposed. So what they did is they put a pretty strong magnet and the charging cable here. And what happens is you put this on the top. So your instrument cluster is on the top and it's pasted there with no wires. And then you put the wireless charger on the bottom part. So then When you put this into this steering panel, all the wire is hidden, and this still gets charged directly from the wireless charging pad here. And this is pretty strong. You can place it, you know, kind of on a respective location, but as I said, I always like to do testing before we, you know, put everything back together. So let me show you how you can quickly wire this and then do the testing. So when we look at this panel, the magnetic panel that we removed earlier, this is the onboard diagnostic port here, and this is where the wire is routed to the bottom. What you need to do is take this plug that came with the kit and simply plug it in here. So when you plug this in, it goes in nicely and it attaches to that onboard diagnostic plug. Then you take this USB-C we routed from the top and simply plug it into the USB-C input you have there, the output, and that's it. Now our unit on the top is gonna have power because we just plugged this into the OBD here. So we're gonna be taking this in and zipping it up, but I just wanted to do a testing really quick here. So now on the top here, this is again the wireless charging coil. We wanna put it somewhere kind of here. It doesn't have to be exact, and you want to face the 3M adhesive to the side because we're going to be actually peeling that and sticking it here. Don't worry about the arrow or anything. Just kind of align it kind of right here because I think that's where we're going to put the top portion. And then so once you line that up, because we have the power, we're holding it right now, we're just going to bring this in and see if we can get the power from this. And you saw that it blinked for a second, and now we got power. It's waiting for the processor, and it is working well there. So that is what we got the power, and it's parked and everything, and as you see, the turn signal and everything works. So that is how this whole thing works, is it gets the power from the top. So now you get the idea. Now we need to actually peel this, stick it, and then put this on the top. Now we need to peel this, the adhesive backing from the top, just like that. Use some alcohol wipe to clean this area, and then you can just simply paste this somewhere right here. Again, as I said, like it is pretty strong, it will get it. So now this has been pasted. This is good to go. This looks pretty strong. And now I'll show you how to do the wire management, and then we're gonna put the top back on. Now on the top here, you want to slide this into this area, and it goes in pretty good. You can also use a zip tie to do some wire management if you want. And then this is pretty much good to go in. So you want to push this wire a little bit inside. As I say, you can use a zip tie to clean it up, but eventually your goal then is to just put this back on. So this goes in exactly like how it came out. That was pretty easy. I was able to just push this down, and in both sides, this is good, like we were never here. Wireless charger is there because even if we were to put this way, you're gonna see that it's gonna flicker and it is going to power. So that works. Now we just need to paste this and then clean up in the bottom. Now this all depends on the center of the location. You can kind of find that center somewhere here. And if you like where this looks, and if you like this is facing straight to you, this is already powered on, you can just go ahead and peel it. And then after you peel it, you can go ahead and lightly, I would recommend just lightly putting this in. Don't put it too close here to the steering wheel so it wouldn't affect anything of the steering wheel, but just find that balance, but don't push it down quite yet because you want to do some calibration to see if you like that location or not. And once you're happy with it, then you can go ahead and press it down. So for me, this looks pretty good. It looks centered here and everything is good to go. So I'm just going to simply push this down, but do your own calibration from here to see if it is facing straight. Make sure all of that is good to go. So when you're looking at it, it looks good. Now the top is done. All you have to do is find a location, hide some of this cable, and then we can push this in and then clip it with the magnetic clip there. So in here, while you're putting this back, just wanted to point out that there is a clip that goes and holds into that opening, and then this is the metal piece with the magnetic piece that kind of clamps into it together. So you have to kind of push that clip down so that it goes back in, and then the magnetic clip grabs into it. So another thing is I would pass that wire from this side so that it doesn't affect with any of your pedals here. Just push it all the way to the end, and then be able to just go in and then push this down so that it's not messing with any of that. You can still use the magnetic clip. It goes in nicely. There's just this much visible cable in the bottom here. It would be visible regardless, like if you put it through here or whatnot, but that just gives you a cleaner look, and then it is not going to mess with any of this. But that's how you put this back on. So just showing you from top, nothing is visible. You kind of have to look all the way down there, and then you will be able to see that. It goes in nicely. I still have to push some of that in, but that's what it looks like. Now this has been closed off, this is powered on, all of that is cleaned up. We are good to go. Now the most satisfying part of electronic install, removing this. Wow, that screen is awesome. Look at that. It's an OLED display, super high quality. So now I'm going to tell you all about it, show you all the features, and take it on the road. Okay, now let's talk about this display, what it offers, and all the features and everything that it has. So just looking at it, it looks really nice. This is an OLED screen, the first OLED screen we have had for Tesla. You can see the display, the quality is just really amazing. Everything looks great, and this is basically your wallpaper. So in the wallpaper, you can see the time, you can see the date, you can see the temperature and little Earth logo. I think you can change this to moon. We're gonna show you how to do some of the customization here, and then there is a LED ring that goes around. I'm going to show you how you can toggle that on here in just a second, but just as a default, this is what you get. Now you're not going to be able to see the turn signal or anything. Like if I was to press here, nothing is going to change because this is on a standby mode, basically, well, being on park. Now if I was to press on my brake, that is when it went back from standby mode to being in active mode. Now you can see the time, the gear, the mileage, the temperature, and the seatbelt warning there. So that's what you get with now being active. Now this is when, if I was to press the turn signal, as you saw, that went and it started showing you right here in the corner. It also has a car's door alarm. So basically, if I was to open the door, this is the driver door that I opened, and you saw that on the corner, it shows that the driver door has been opened. Now, if I was to go ahead and open the rear passenger on this side, you saw that it opened there, so it shows the door open indication. I close it, that went away. I close this one, that goes away. I put my seatbelt, and that seatbelt sign also went away. So it's very reactive, like right away, it shows you all of that information. Now that was just with the park. Now if I press on the brake and put the car into reverse, look at that. The battery sign dynamically goes down, and it shows that battery there. So it is in yellow right now because the battery is kind of getting low, 80 miles range remaining. The car is in reverse, the speed, all of that is displayed there. Now I put the car into drive just super quickly. That changes to drive. Again, reverse, drive, that changes, and put the car to park. Now that comes back and it shows there. So that's what you can also see very quickly on the first glance there. Now if we were to go over here, and as I said, putting the blinkers and everything, it shows there. And if I was to toggle the high beam toggle shows up. So the car went into high beam, and you're able to see the high beam right there. So it has a lot of functionality already built in without even going into drive and showing you on the road, because there's a lot more. But just with that simple OLED display here with all of this already baked in. So now let's download the app. So that is your QR code to download the app. So you just have to take your phone, point to that QR code. Now the app is called Wikis. When you download it, it opens up and you have to go through the setup to put your information, and then let's do add a new device. It is searching for it, and it found the mini display here, and we're just going to hit save. Now it says to activate the display. It asks if you are the owner or the guest. Yes, I am the owner, and I'm able to activate this display. Now the app looks very sleek. This gives me the enhanced type of a vibe again. Really nice app. This is not one of the cheap smart app. It's just a Wiki's specific app that they developed, and this is why we couldn't see the light earlier, because by default looks like the brightness is set to kind of low for that light. So we just have to increase that brightness, and then that brightness comes up, so you start seeing that ring light right there during the daytime with that brightness. We can also set the brightness with the car, and then right now it is blue color, and I can go and change this to red. I can change this to any of this color here, and then as you saw, live, that all gets updated, which is really cool. If you want white, if you want green, if you want just a regular ambient light, so you can change all of that. And let's say if you want green, the red, then I can go here and I could even change the type, right? Like, so completely turn off, you can turn that off. Sync with Tesla, so now it is synced with the Tesla's color. So with the Model 3, Highland, and Juniper, if it is synced with Tesla's color right now, it is green, right? So now if I were to go over here and go to light, ambient light, and then if I was to change that to blue, it is going to update there as well. So they did a really good job with the light there, that it syncs with Tesla as well. So they made that available for you all in the app to be able to adjust that, which is really cool. So that sync with Tesla. Again, as I say, you can completely turn this off, so then that is off. You can do this as a color plat, so that is the one that is just, we selected that to red. You can select that to whatever you want. And look at that, that's VKeys 1, VKeys 2, VKeys 3 if you wanted that. That is 4, 5. I really like that. It's very, very colorful. So you can see the display being very colorful. That is 7, 8. Oh, I like that as well. There's 9. So it gives you different options depending on what you're looking for. So really nice. It shows. And if you scroll down here, there is settings. This you do have to hit save to save that. So wallpaper is Earth, let's do Mars, and then you hit save, and all of a sudden that screen became red planet, right? So you can see that became red. So that's Mars. Actually really like the Earth one. Yeah, just as easily you can change that. Display brightness, you can set it as auto so that it just does it with the car, or you can set the percentage. You can change from Fahrenheit to Celsius. You can do time format as a 12-hour or 24-hour. This is in 12 hours, so that's good. And the time zone, like whatever time zones you are in right now, you can select that. And yeah, so that's what you get right now with the options, but they say that they plan on adding a lot more in the future for you to be able to toggle different things. It's really nice. Like, this is a legit app, right, where you can control everything. Again, this gives me so much of the enhanced by Ivy. Okay, let's take this out on the road and show you everything. So right now, I really like that they're using big Tesla fonts directly on the middle. That makes it super easy. And this is a small device, but it crams a lot of stuff and it's not overwhelming at the same time. So you can see the gear, you can see your current range, you can see the speed limit in the middle, and you can see the time on the very top, as well as it shows that the autopilot is available. So that FSD sign that you see there basically just shows that it is available here, the autopilot. So that's what you see from that first glance. Now, of course, there is the turn signal indicator. So it is the right turn signal, left turn signal, and you can see it very, very clearly right there which way you are trying to go. And from a driver's perspective, it doesn't look small. You can see it very, very clearly there. Now, this also has a little line on the very top that goes clockwise and counterclockwise depending on if you're accelerating or decelerating. So if I accelerate, you see that line goes towards the right, and decelerate, it goes towards the left, which is what it mimics is that regenerative braking versus acceleration on that screen. That's what you see right there. So accelerate, decelerate. So that is pretty cool that you can also see that bar there. As I said, this is a small screen, but also it intuitively packs everything into a really nice area where you can see it. Of course, if you have to brake and there is a hill hold that automatically toggles on here, you are going to be able to see that right there. The car is on hold, and you can see that, like, you did the hill hold, you stop moving, it goes away. So it even shows the hill hold, which matches with what you see on the screen. Another thing they have with driving is if you cross the speed limit, so right now the speed limit is 25, and if we try to go past that, this is just going to turn into a little orange on the very middle there. So as soon as we pass the 25 into, even if we go to, let's say, 26, that becomes orange there, letting you know you are speeding, which is really good. Like, it gives you an indication. It doesn't flash or anything. It's not distracting. It is just there to let you know, hey, you are speeding a little bit, and So you see, it just shows an orange in the very middle there. Now let's try the autopilot here. So I'm going to toggle autopilot, and you see that there is that orange light, the glow that shows up on the very middle. So that is your autopilot. It just kind of glows. It does not show blue or anything. The ring outside does not change color. And that is their next update. They say in the October update that I've already told them to incorporate the blue, the ring outside. I want it to be blue, and then it flashes when there is a nag. Right now, it doesn't do anything with the nag. So if the nag comes up, it is not going to do anything, and it's just going to, if we get out of autopilot, it just goes away. So I want them to figure out the nag, and they say that that is their next update, and they're shooting to get that updated sometime in October with the nag included. But right now, with the FSD or autopilot or anything, if you toggle the autopilot, you are just going to see that orange in the very, very middle. So that's the indication that it has that autopilot is toggled on. Let's give that a try again. So right now, if you look at it there, it has that glowing orange in the very middle, and it shows that you have autopilot, but nag is coming on their next update. For those of you who actually have the Enhances Commander piece, you know, that one that we have showed in the channel in the past, where you can program the Essence light so that it does the turn signal and everything, can actually enjoy the autopilot feature right now with this device, where what you can do is set this device to sync with Tesla. Then whatever that light does, this device does. And we have already programmed that light through Enhance again. That's only for if you have the Commander to do that. So what happens is, if we were to go over here and if we were to toggle the autopilot, so watch what happens. Autopilot toggle, in addition to the orange, it also shows the blue in the very middle. And if it nags, it is going to start flashing that. So right now it is nagging, and you see that it is flashing right there saying pay attention to the road. That is what I want them to be able to do and program in their software. And they say that that is the update coming here soon with their app, because if Enhance can do it, I'm sure they can figure that out as well. But for those of you who do have the Enhances Commander, that's a bonus you get if you get this device right now. You are able to enjoy that because we set this to sync with Tesla. And while you are charging your car, it actually gives a really nice animation where it shows how far along you are on the charge, so the full circle would be 100%. That is really cool. So let's talk about the blind spot monitoring system. You see there is that truck in the back in the blind spot. As soon as it hits my blind spot, you see that there is going to be an orange light there, and that truck is going to pass me, and as soon as it passes, that light goes away, and there's now another car and that light comes back. So that's how it works with the blind spot, and it definitely helps, especially on a rainy environment like this, when the visibility may be reduced. You are able to see that more clearly there. There's a car approaching in my blind spot, and it's gonna show right here. So you can look at it there. There is that truck in my blind spot, and you see that little dot on the left. And as soon as that truck passes, that goes away. There's another car in the blind spot that is gonna come up here, and look, that shows. And as soon as that car passes, that goes away. Same here. Another car, that little dot on the blind spot, that car passes, that goes away. When they sent me the display and I was doing some testing, I realized that there were some glitches onto the display where the speed limit sign was reading wrong. When I pressed on the autopilot, it wasn't showing on the screen, and they say it was supposed to show all of that thing. So I told them, this was kind of evening time, I told them, hey, these are the issues I'm having. You know, it would be great if you could fix those issues and see, you know, how they would do it. And then the next morning, I already have a notification on my phone on the app saying there was a new firmware update. They emailed me saying they pushed an update, give it a try, see how it works. I went to the car, I updated it, and it was amazing that all of those glitches, all of those issues were gone, and the speed limit sign was matching. I was able to see the autopilot and everything. So they are really good about that, and that is something they promise on their website, is that if Tesla does a software update and then something breaks and some of the features do not work, they will get those resolved within 24 hours. So they will patch those within 24 hours. And I believe that because that's the same approach that people like Enhance or TestLogic has, is because it's so much easier for them to just push an update into their app and not individual people with their devices. So you don't have to download something on a flash drive or anything. They just do a mass patch on their app, and then you just download the OTA, and then it will fix it. So that is the promise that they have. We'll see how it works, but so far I'm impressed with this company. They have sent us some of the trunk and front light that we showed you a couple of weeks ago, where it is the same app where you can interact with it, you can change so many different things. And I'm really excited about that approach because that is how Tesla does things, that is how Enhance does things, and other companies, the premium companies that do things, because other companies that we have reviewed in the past where the instrument cluster display comes, we do our thing, we show you, this and that. They say, hey, we're gonna keep it updated in the future. But no, they don't do that because they make another hardware. And then they try to sell you another instrument cluster display by tweaking a little bit of a UI here, a little bit of feature there. But this company says that they're not gonna do that. They are going to update their software so that older generations of devices are going to keep getting new updates and new features, and they're going to patch it relatively quickly. So really good thing going here, and I hope that they follow through. Only time will tell, but their packaging, their app, their communication, their way of doing things gives me great confidence. So what do you all think about this display? Would you get it for Tesla Model 3 or Model Y? They told me that the older Tesla Model 3 or Y should be getting this display in either November or December timeframe. They're working on those displays as well. So hopefully they bring that out as well so that it's all compatible for everything. But so far, very promising. Their software update, everything looks sleek. The OLED, the quality. I really like this display. I know it is a small display, so you can't get like CarPlay or Android Auto or things like that, but they do include the blind spot monitoring. They include so many different things, and I'm quite impressed with how much they are able to pack into this display. So hopefully they also continue to integrate more software features. That's where you guys come in. So please drop those in the comment section below. What would you like Vicky's to update next and add more features? Because Vicky's is monitoring our comment section, and they are going to continuously make upgrades. So to show you guys that they're serious and they want to continue doing business with you. So thank you so much for watching this video. Please give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and come back again soon.